So now maybe I should start talking about all my workplace scenarios that I went through up in Woodstock and Lincoln. Um, I won't even get into Deer Park because that's like a huge, huge story. What all the shit that went down there. I got sexually harassed there. A guy was asking me why I don't wear a bra. I kept on getting stalked by one guy in town. Come to find out, I thought he was just an old guy that was like lonely, trying to be nice, and come to found out a bunch of shit about him, but he'd show up everywhere I was. Like next to the river, he'd show up. I go into Family Dollar one night, he's behind my truck with his lights on, shining on my car. Just showing up everywhere I was, but, you know, even the police saw that. They were literally pulled into 7-Eleven one time and saw that he was like right there, and just a lot of weird shit up there. But let's talk about Lost River, shall we? So I get a job stocking the store at Lost River. It was really nice. I liked the campground. Um, so I go there. I show up a bunch of times in the morning. Nobody's there to let me in. They never let me open the store by myself. I always had to have it be opened with Ruth, which was fine. But like I just sit there and wait for somebody to show up. And the girl that works there, I forget her name, and she also cleans the police station, would show up, and then I would just like sit there and talk to her. And then finally we get to work. But like I'd show up at work and like nobody was there to let me in to do work. And then there was no toilet. So thank God that my camper has a little potty in the back of it, because there was no toilet running. And eventually we just started pouring water down the toilet. A woman left there that was being interviewed because she was like, you have to go into town to use a toilet. And the lady's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And she didn't left. But so I was stocking the store, and it was kind of fun. I didn't mind it. It was nice. The owner, Lisa's a little bit erratic. She was pretty nice to me most of the time. She did have her little episodes, but like every time I did something in the store, it got rearranged. Like no matter what I did, it was rearranged, because the woman there that was in charge was like liked everything her way, which is fine. But I kind of got to the point where I was like, if I'm gonna do this, then why even bother, because it's just gonna get redone a different way. So let's see what else happened there. She never put my money in for a direct deposit. I mean, my information for direct deposit, and then used that against me. But she never did it, and threatened me, like saying that that was her policy. And I was like, whatever. I was like, there's nothing in New Hampshire that says that there's nothing in New Hampshire for that. And another guy had come in, a boy came in. He was like a younger kid, and he was saying that she never put in the paperwork. So anyways, there was other people that were hired there. There was another, I forget what her name was, but there was a couple people that worked there that were getting abused. And I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. Oh, and the cops showed up one day and asked if John was there. I don't know what they wanted with John, but then another officer came in and said there was a abandoned car up the road, and I don't know, the cops seemed nice in Woodstock. I'm not going to say anything about them. They seemed pretty okay. I could say stuff about the chief, but no, I'm not going to. I'll give him. I'm not going to even get into that. What I talked to him about. He did pull me over one morning from my light being out in the morning. And really, I feel like half of these pullovers that they did to me, like I had like one in Thornton, I had one in Plymouth. I felt like it was just them checking me out. I don't know. That's what they do. They go on the passenger side now, and they're like trying to get something, and they're like all erratic behind my truck. Like, I'm not a criminal. I'm not even doing anything. And they're like all acting like behind my truck and jumping on the passenger side and truck. I don't know. That's what they were doing. But he was like, oh, you have a light out. And I was like, okay, well, I have the light right here. I have to fix it. Anyhow, back to Lost River. So anyways, she kept on she kept on being weird to me. One time she was like, "Oh, you can do this filing, right?" So I worked really hard. I did all this filing for them, and she didn't have like the proper filing colors or whatever. So I just did it the best I could, and you could tell somebody else was trying to file something before, and it was all messed up. So I did the best I could. But she came in and she like yelled at me, and she wouldn't even let me explain anything. And half the time, when things went down, like she would not let you explain. All right, and you're just sitting there. Like one day she was having a party for her daughter, and she was gone all day, and I literally heard her yelling at the kids, like, shut that water off. Ah. Like she was just like, ugh. And then she wanted me to clean her disgusting van. All right, so the first time I did it really, really good, like a detailing. I mean, that would have cost her at least $200. All right, it was really bad. And then she expected me to do it like every day. And I was like, Lisa, I was like, I don't mind bringing the stuff in for the store, but I'm not being your car detailer of your disgusting van every single freaking day. Sorry, I'm not doing it. And so she didn't like that. And so she yelled at me about the filing. And she was like, what are you doing? And she didn't even give me a chance to explain, like, the filing system, how I was doing it. I was trying to explain to her. All right. Then there was a big debacle about their backpack vacuum cleaner, which I fixed it. It was broken. I fixed it so it would work again. And they were like getting mad at me, saying they were going to take the vacuum cleaner away and everything. And it was the only vacuum cleaner that would like actually clean the whole store and the whole office really good. But they were like, oh, we got to take away this vacuum cleaner now. And I'm like, well, I'm the one that fixed it. So I don't know. It was just one thing after another. And I kept on getting blamed for stuff. So they had a water problem. And I reported it the first time. All the customers were coming in, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're still not fixing this. I don't know." And they were whatever they were doing. I don't know. And but I got blamed for that. Like, "Oh, you didn't follow procedure, and this is the procedure. Like, you have to report it." Da 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 da. I was like, "I did the procedure, okay." So yeah, she was just messing with me. Then she put me down. She was like, "If you don't do your direct deposit, then I'm putting you down for 1 day of work." And then all of a sudden I'm down for 1 day at work, and I was like, Lisa, I can't, you hired me full time, and like I can't just work 1 day. So I had to put my 2 weeks in. And then like after I put my 2 weeks in, she said, let's just call it quits because I'm hearing stuff. And I'm like, good, I hope you're hearing stuff because it's all true. And I had the termination thing. So then I go to try to get unemployment, and my phone was so hacked and messed up that I couldn't get any information for the lady for unemployment. She tried to help me on the computer and everything, and I couldn't. So I couldn't even get unemployment for when that happened, but I was terminated. So, but that was like, she terminated me after I gave my 2 weeks notice, after she put me down for 1 day. So yeah. And they were constantly fighting and yelling. And like when I first worked there, like John was actually telling the girl that he just hired, like me and my wife like hate each other. So yeah, and I feel bad for those kids, okay? And I'm telling it, I don't care. It's the truth. You don't like it, too fucking bad.